The map list in competitive fighting is one of the most interesting parts of the game from a player perspective. Selecting maps that benefit you while also trying to avoid ones that you aren't benefited on adds a layer of strategy to map picking, and it's intriguing to see how people navigate through certain maps. However, a key aspect I never see people talk about is why certain maps are banned. There have been many maps that were allowed at one point only to be sent to the ban list later on, and today I will be going over why every map is banned for one or many reasons. This video will only focus on maps that are playable in open servers, as private server exclusive maps are always banned in actual scrims for many reasons, unless it's the practice match. For this entire list of maps, I will be pulling it based off the Storm Surge map list. I will also skip maps that are banned from a mode due to hybrid rules, specifically dodgeball. I will also skip over escort maps because escort is a banned game mode in itself. Finally, I will count hybrid maps that have a banned game mode in this, so let's just get it started. For Annihilate, it is fairly obvious. It's often seen as incredibly range favored compared to other Annihilate maps. It favors very campy and passive playstyles with ranged characters, and often shoehorns teams into playing like this. Due to this style, it was called for a ban by many players and it got axed. As for Conquer, I am not so sure why it got banned. Annihilate and Conquer is often hated due to the correlation it has with Annihilate, and compared to other ranged Conquer maps, people seem to dislike Annihilate and Conquer more than the others. It was also collateral damage to the fact that less ranged Snowball maps were included in the map pool due to how prevalent ranged characters are at this time. This is one of the few maps where I actually don't get the reasoning, as there were a few other ranged maps that were far worse, and compared to them, Annihilate and Conquer wasn't an issue, and I'll argue that I find it very fun for a Snowball map. However, a majority of the player base doesn't like it, and unfortunately, it also got axed. This map is way too big for an Annie map, and a lot of the time it can be super easy to snowball and keep an enemy team in their spawn far easier compared to other Annie maps, and due to its size, it will definitely incentivize camping strategies. Also, I am here to say this, but a lot of Annie maps are on here, and a lot of the time it's for the reason of ranged characters, just to keep that in mind. Stage hazards interfere a lot with the map. The layout itself promotes tons of camping due to the spacious spawn areas and somewhat open sightlines on one half of the map. I feel like you can make this fun, but the invasive hazards alone make it problematic. Same reason as Annihilate and Conquer being gone, as they wanted to reduce the amount of ranged Snowball Conquer maps. This one I'm honestly a bit sad to see go, but King of the Hill was always a hugely disliked map by the majority of the player base due to its differing spawn areas causing easy staggers, and the huge snowball potential the map presents due to the high ground advantage. Too much range control, the middle of the map is absolutely terrifying to try and break through for an advantage, and realistically, no one likes playing this map in general as it has asymmetrical differences that can be significant, and you are not playing on like half of the map, like look at this. But the ranged hell you can obtain if you take the middle is hellish, and it just promotes passive playstyles, and yeah, this map is just not belonging here. Oppressive ranged Snowball map. It might be considered thanks to its changes recently, but it's a low possibility when this map isn't fun to most of the player base. Along with maps like Annihilate and Conquer and King of the Hill, this map was taken out of the map pool for a similar reason, except almost everyone hated this map being in the map pool. It has constantly been a black sheep map in the map pool where people just never picked it or wanted to pick it, only being played when a team wants to throw a curveball into map pools. Anyways, it's one of the most oppressive snowball maps in the game, as range can dominate the rollouts of spawns, and it's incredibly hard to use melees and other characters on this map. Due to very oppressive and very unfun layout decisions, along with the increased scale of the map, it has finally been banned. Incredibly cramped Annie map that has tons of oppressive line of sight issues, and realistically, no one finds this map fun at all in the comp landscape due to its off-kilter map design. Too big of a map, and the layout along with long corner sightlines and how open the center will promote passive playstyles for the entire time. It's also just not fun navigating a lot of this map for most characters, and again, not a lot of people like Annihilate. This map is way too big for an Annie map, and big Annie maps are flat out terrible as it promotes heavy camping and passive playstyles. Combined with the middle having those high up spots with the roof and such, it's no question why this map is banned. Incredibly cramped event space with tons of really awkward spawn locations and map designs. The map itself just hasn't been fit for a competitive map due to a lot of these weird layout choices, and it also has a lot of snowball potential from the middle of the map, or just flat out annoying if you're forced into the vents. Spawn locations are far apart and pass the player's ridiculously strongest map thanks to walls, along with the map being stretched out with long sight lines, which is a combination for an incredibly unfun and uninteresting map. One of the most controversial competitive maps in the game, Space Knights used to survive every map change before being banned after Rival Revel ended. Annihilate was only used as a counterpick map, and the best way to describe it is Arena Annihilate, except it benefited ranged much more thanks to how ungodly open the map is, along with great spots for Hyper Laser to abuse. And due to how huge the map is, melees get almost zero chance unless they forcefully dive. This is especially evident as after it was changed to a Conquer only map, Space Knights Conquer was almost never played. This is due to the map being too central around Hyper Laser and being the most unfriendly tank map in the game, which makes comps feel like they need to spam range threats to win. The map got no play since people only used it for counterpicks, and it was a downright terrible map for everyone, so it got banned. The bridge, man, just the bridge. S12 Annihilate was just a lame, campy map, and I don't care if the one team who won this only played aggressive when no one else likes the map and wants to even play it because of how open all the sight lines are. Because of this, it just got banned immediately. I don't even think I want to say anything about Underground Wars, just look at the size of the map. It's also just not a fun map for most people, and a lot of the time, range can mostly control a ton of the map thanks to the big walls being climbable. If you can't tell, range characters are a big reason for some of these maps, and this one is very apparent. And that's actually all I could talk about. The other maps are mainly due to private server exclusive or just not possible to get in regular servers. And no, I am not going to talk about Boomball or the normal elevator for obvious reasons. As for that, that's really all the banned maps and why they are banned. I could go even more in depth if you want me to by asking me in the comments, as I love nerding out about some of the more niche stuff in this game, but that's like the main points. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to check out competitive fighting, I'll put the link to join Crossroads Central, which is the central hub for competitive fighting, and I don't know how to end this video. I'll probably just end it abruptly for some reason.